Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC got the all-new, just released Grand Tundra Avios version 2. Gonna do a speed run. Got the GNS performance analyzer there. Also got a Bolt 4.5 gig 6S high voltage pack in there. The Bolt Hobby King brand. Start. Gonna do the performance analyzer. Gonna do a speed. Okay, we're tracking. I got to make sure it's tracking before I go anywhere. Let's get our speed run. We're going to do a performance run into the wind, full speed to give a true test. And then we'll take it up and do a hard dive with the wind just to see how fast we can make this incredible bird fly. All right, we are tracking. Let me get behind my son, Gabriel, who's filming for us today. Absolutely fabulous flying plane. Avios, y'all, Hobby King, y'all have really got a winner here. All right, going to turn into the wind. Right, left, up, down, right. All right, here we go. All right, going to get turned around here. A little bit of a knife edge here, a little bit of one. Okay, I'm going to turn around. All right, now we're going to go right into the wind, full speed right now. All right, that's full speed.
Time remaining 7 minutes.
So let's land it. Oh yeah, it's got brake. It's got reverse thrust too, folks. Isn't that cool?
Motor is so nice. Not gonna hurt you.
Not gonna hurt me. Well, that's good. Stop. Read. All right. We were up to 190 feet and we went 70 mile an hour. 70 mile an hour in this big old high wing plane. That's pretty darn good. All right.
It will bite you bad.
Make sure we're tracking. All right, want to start again. This time we're just going to get a hard dive. All right, here we go. I'll take it up. That should definitely give me my speed run. I'm a little high. Let me get turned around here. Out of the power, gliding in. Back into a little bit of power, a little bit of up elevator, level the wing. Gonna land the grass, why not? There you go. Just pretty as you please. This is an absolute fabulous flying plane. And it looks great. Looks great and flies as good as it looks. All right.
Right, cruise mode. Motor is so nice. Not gonna hurt you.
All right. Let's see where we're at now. Stop. Read. Haha. 109 mile an hour. 292 feet and 109 mile an hour in this great big high. And of course, that's in a hard dive with the wind. But still, the fact that this great big high wing plane with the vortex generators was still breaking over 100 mile an hour. That's pretty darn impressive. Alright, so we're going to turn the app off now, because with the GNS Performance Analyzer, if you don't turn the app off, the device continues to search for satellite and eats the battery up on it. I mean, it still lasts a long time. Got that you just Velcro it in. That's all it is to it. There's nothing to it. But I don't need it now. We got our speed run, a performance, and an actual fun dive. Alright, now we're going to do something different with this plane. I'm going to show you the capability of this incredible gear this thing has. We're actually going to go back behind the club, and we got a washed out road to simulate like a riverbed, where if this is a real full-size plane, this plane can land. A little bit of backwoods, back road sort of flying. So I'll meet you out there. Well, hey folks, all right, second part of after we did the speed test. So now you can kind of see this is extremely uneven, kind of like the way a riverbed would be. We're going to take it down here towards those signs, do a nice STOL takeoff, and we're going to come back and land on this very uneven terrain. I want you to focus on the how incredible capable the gear is. Let me get over here and by my son Gabriel, who's filming for us today. He has taken to calling me Topper from the Hot Shot movies because of my piloting skills. Whoa! As you can just see how rough this terrain is. Definitely simulating what you would do with bush flying. Alrighty, but if we're going to do that, we're going to do takeoff flaps, and we're going to get out of there as quick as possible.
Flaps up. Time remaining 6 minutes.
All right. I'm going to have to move myself though.
Landing flaps.
Whoa. Not a problem at all. Let's get it turned around again. So you can just see how incredibly uneven that terrain is. All right. This time we'll do a true STOL takeoff and take off with the flaps all the way down. Here we go. To the moon. Plenty of power. Absolute beast on power. Now I'm running on 6S. Now you can buy the optional prop, which is a slightly larger prop. We're going to land on the uneven grass this time, above those obstacles. But you can buy the 4S prop and fly on a large 4S. Now, if that ain't a test of that gear, I don't know what is. Very, very capable. We'll do one more landing and takeoff. And that way, if you've got a kind of an old lot or something you can take out of, you could get this plane. All right, now, no takeoff flaps this time. And we're going to land with no flaps. Let the vortex generators be what slow us down. Now you saw,
So nice.
I wanted to bring that plane in hot and quick. And you saw how them gear splayed out a little bit, but look at them rubber bands. They take it right back. You put those rubber bands on the same way I showed you in the unbox and build. You double them, wrap them around twice, and then hook them back through. And that's all you got to do, and that's all you need. You'll get an extra one. All right, we're going to go out and finish the flight out here in the other field. We'll meet you out there. All right, now we're out in the field. Let's just do pure grass ops. Just pure grass ops. For you guys that have a grass field, so you can see how far down my wheels are into the grass. Get turned around here on the edge of the runway. All right, take off flaps. There we go. Just a very, very capable plane. Very capable.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
Out of the power, just gliding in. There, walk the dog a little bit. Outside sticks. Inside sticks. Very, very capable airplane. I'm running an AR631 Spectrum receiver, just so you're aware. Little kiss the ground there. Tail slide. All right.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Let's do a little bit of STOL demonstration from the grass. All right, short takeoff over landing. For short takeoff or landing. All right, flaps are all the way down. Let me show them to you. You can see how they look, like big old barn doors there. All right, I'm going to try my best to get out of the space that the plane takes up. So in other words, this plane's about 3.5 feet long. I'm going to see if I can take off in that much space. All right, full up elevator. Down, full takeoff, full landing flaps, and we're going to hit it.
Flaps up.
I think maybe a little bit longer than the plane, but a 5-foot takeoff is pretty darn good.
Landing flaps.
I think being able to take a plane this size, a big 6S bird off, take it off in 5 feet, that's pretty darn good if you ask me. All right. A little feathery touch there. All right, we're going to do the same kind of approach. No flaps. Let them vortex generators do their magic. little faster, of course. Yeah, see, no flaps that time. A little bit faster of a landing. And we're flying into about a 7 to 8 mile an hour wind. So just enough to make it pleasant here in Central Florida. Just landing approaches is what we're doing right now. Trying not to have the pilot spill his beer. Oh, too bad. Well, he got one of them sippy cup styles. He just lost a little bit of his beer. All right.
Landing flaps.
Now, put the landing flaps in. There you go.
Flaps up.
All right. Take off, do a STOL takeoff from right there. You can kind of see it from the rear.
Flaps up.
Love this airplane. Absolutely love this airplane. Hover. Pretty well hover. And I did establish that it has a pretty decent left wing stall. I think I established that in the maiden.
One minute.
All right, that's our minute warning.
Landing flaps.
Let's go ahead and get ourselves a nice feathery landing, and we'll go over the flight.
Seconds. Flaps up.
All right. Now, and
motor is so nice.
Motor's nice. Okay. Before we show you give you the battery report, let's go over our rates and our throws and all that kind of good stuff. All right. Make sure you're centered with the camera there. Okay. All right. Flew in my high rates the entire time, both out here, back there, and out here again. Ailerons are 100% with 30% expo. Elevator is 100% with 30% expo. And rudder is 100% what with 40% expo. All right. My flap settings, there is a little bit of a mix. Flaps up are a negative 100%, no mix. Takeoff
flaps
are 0% with a 10% down elevator mix, and landing is 100% positive with a 25% down elevator mix, and that has a 2-second deployment. All right, forward programming, got to make sure your throttle cuts on. All right, my gains, one-time gains on roll, pitch, and yaw, 40, 50, and 60. Priorities, all at 140. It is the default AS3X Plus settings, and they work perfectly for this plane. 140 on roll, pitch, and yaw for priority. Nothing done with heading. Stop lock, 35, 35, 35. And release rate, 55, 55, 75 on roll, pitch, and yaw. And that's all that is. One-time gains. All right. Now, pretty sure I've shown this in other videos, but I want to show it in case I lost it. Because I actually made another video that I completely lost. I had a corrupt file or something. Whoa, shoot, and I'm hitting the plane. I want to show you, we had 27 seconds left on a 7.5 minute timer, so we flew just a hair over 7 minutes, but I want to show you the really cool battery tray mechanism. But before we do that, CG. CG is 75 to 80 millimeters back from the leading edge root, or leading edge of the wing, and that puts it right there. And I've got my fingers kind of in between those two marks because I put glue dots on there so I could feel them. And you can see she's pretty CG's pretty well. If I put it on the front, she kind of gets a little nose heavy. If I put them on the back, well, she still CG's pretty good. But that's with a 4500 6S bolt high voltage pack all the way back on the tray. Now if you'll come here, son, this is what's one of the really cool features of this plane. Number one, it comes with an FPV hatch if you want to use that instead. It has this locking mechanism that you anchor in, which is fortuitous because it actually looks like an anchor. You press in on that button, twist it, and then pull this out, and it actually looks like an anchor, which is really cool. All right, pull forward on your battery tray. That releases the tray. Okay, then you can pull your battery out. Okay, set it right there. XT90 connector. These bolt batteries have this anti-spark, but if you put this is that bolt 4.5 or 4500 6S bolt. This is what they sent out to me to. You don't get this with the plane. They sent this to me for review, but with the intention of me using it in this plane, and it works perfectly. And as you can see, well, another cool feature that you don't see in the advertisement is, or I guess you don't see it, are these numbers on the wooden tray. So this is a 4500. I got that marked right there between the 4 and the 5, and that just so happens that CG's perfectly, so that just works out great. So if you had a 4S, and here you'd go a little further up forward, more towards the front, because remember, the lighter the battery, the more towards the front, the heavier the battery, more towards the rear of the plane. Now you got these little grooves here. You find that track, slide it in. Okay. Okay. And you have to kind of feel for it, and then push back. Take your anchor with the anchor end, press it in the hole that's shaped the same, push it in, twist, hook up your battery, and folks, you're ready to go. Let me go ahead and turn this back on so you can see them lights. Now they don't have the ESC anchor down, which is okay. Just so you know, XT90. All right, tongue and groove, nice strong magnets. And folks, I want to tell you right now, Avios, Hobby King, y'all have got one heck of an airplane. This thing is an absolute beast. I can't speak for how it flies on 4S, and I can't speak for how the first Grand Tundra was, but this thing here, to me, is an absolute beast. It's an absolute powerhouse. It looks good. It's good, well sized. This green, absolutely, you know, use the New York fashion expression, it pops. But the only thing I've done to this plane as far as the way of mods is given her a clear coat of my polyacrylic clear gloss. Other than that, this is all stock. Okay, I did put 3 to 4 good pumps of a bicycle pump air in these tires and make them a little squishy. I've got, let's see, now it would be 6 flights or 5 flights on this, and they're still nice and firm. So just enough where you can squeeze them a little bit. Just a regular bicycle pump with a regular needle that you buy for, you know, sporting goods. Got lights, flaps, attitude, and good looks. So absolute beast. God bless y'all. Thank Gabriel. Thank you for filming. Avios, Hobby King, thank you for sending this plane out to me for review. I am very, very impressed. Very impressed. This thing is awesome. The only thing I could say that I found with it, I think it needs more rudder authority. But I haven't gone in there and mechanically given it more. You could go in there and move that control rod to the further hole in, but other than on the rudder itself. But other than that, I find no fault in the plane. It's absolutely fabulous plane. It's all plastic up there, prop was balanced, ESC was calibrated. This thing is awesome. God bless y'all. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see ya, and keep them in the air, folks. Let's keep them in the air. Bye-bye. You know, we had a wonderful flight and the speed test and the rough road back there flying and out there doing some tricks and grass ops and got all done and went all everything about the plane. Man, what a great flight. Got back here, started putting things away, and you know, went to take the battery out. I'm like, wait a minute, we never checked the battery, so let's check it. After all that you saw me do, still have 37% left. 37%. That is pretty darn good. All right, we forgot it, so there you go. Thank you, folks. Bye.